In this new video series here, we're going to show you what we think is probably our very best bathroom remodeling to date here. So we are going to show you how we took this old 1983 ugly bathroom with ugly wallpaper and convert this ugly duckling into a beautiful spring swan. We're going to show you how this ugly old bathroom turns into this beautiful resort style bathroom, and it all starts right now. Everybody, Jeff here, and welcome back to the channel where we give you world-class advice on how to remodel your homes, your kitchens, and your bathrooms. And in this series that we're starting here today, we're showing you everything about remodeling the bathroom. And let me just warn you ahead of time, folks, we don't give you these little 5-minute short Home Depot perfect world videos. You know, we show you everything that goes on. We show you all of the mistakes the builders make. We show you all of the mistakes that handymen make, and we show you all the mistakes that everybody who touched that bathroom before you arrive make. You are going to see what we see when we see it. We're taking you inside the vortex with us. So you're going to see the toughest engineering issues that happen here. So this bathroom had leaks behind the wall. This bathroom had broken pipes underneath the slab, beneath the shower, in between the crawl space between our unit and the unit downstairs from us. We had to address that too. So we'll show you how to fix every single thing that could possibly go wrong when you're remodeling a bathroom. Moving on into the master bedroom vanity suite here, we can see it's not in that bad a shape, but we're still going to put in a nice one. We're going to upgrade to a dual vanity. And really, what bathroom would be complete without your 1.5 gallon gas can? The master closet is good size. It's a 6x6 walk-in, so this is very helpful to have a walk-in closet this big. We're going to put a nice closet set up in here too. Get rid of these stupid wire racks. I've never been a fan of these. They fall out of the walls too. You have to really be careful with how you bolt them into the studs. And then here into the tiny little master bath, they have a standard ugly shower. That's all coming out, and we're going to put all new shower with fancy tiles and niche in. And this little wall here, we don't know what's on the other side of it. I suspect it may be empty, or it might have some plumbing to go to the downstairs unit. We're not sure. But we're going to take a look and see if we can move it, make it bigger. And there's the toilet. This is all going to come out. We're going to put a new high-end toilet in here and redo all of the tiling. And here we are in the master bath. We finally pulled the shower base unit out of there. And what you're looking at here is the insulation that's on the exterior wall. And then back around this side here are the pipes coming from the neighbor's unit downstairs, and this is our shower pipe right here. That's the vent pipes coming from their bathroom fans. Now we discovered a little problem here when we pulled up the shower stall, and we're going to try to take a look down in there and see. Oh yeah, see, there it is. Well, we're not sure if it's the builder's fault or what the deal is, but you can see what happened there. The PVC pipe broke. So we're going to have to see what we can do to get it fixed. Probably shouldn't be too bad. You're probably looking at a few $100. So here in the master vanity area, we're patching up the walls after we had the plumbing done here, the rough end. Now here's something, here's a head scratcher here. So you see this hodgepodge mess at the bottom here? What the heck is this? What idiot did something this unbelievably stupid and totally mishmashed hodgepodge of God knows what here? Well, it turns out when you look really close there, that's the pipe, I guess, that leads down to the neighbor's stack downstairs, and somehow they either put the pipe in the wrong place or the wall in the wrong place. And in order to hide it or protect it or whatever, they had to build out this stupid little metal thing here, which is made, it's framed up of the stud, the base of the stud, basically you would call it the floor plate, and they poured in cement, and I don't know what they have this angle iron in there for, probably to reinforce or hold the cement in place, who knows what, but what a pathetic, disgusting joke. And on top of that, they left this big old hole right here. Nice going, guys, nice. What kind of idiot does this and at the end of the day says, yep, that's a day's work right there? So now, because of that, we have to cut a corner in the back corner of our beautiful vanity that we just paid big money for. More destruction in the master bathroom. And now here we are entering the master bathroom where I am doing some dry fitting of the 18-inch travertine tiles. And you can see we pretty much have a even dual course going down here. And then of course this is where the toilet goes. There's the flange for the toilet. And during the dry fitting we discovered that we have to cut. So I've already marked my 2 tiles that need to be cut. Now we got lucky in the other bathroom. We didn't have to cut more than just 1 tile, and we got even luckier because the other cut ended up in the middle of the tile. But here, alas, we have to cut 2 tiles. No big deal. I'll just use my angle grinder with the diamond blade on it. And this is something that happens a lot with flanges. This is because the idiot builder that built this place 35 years ago, if you can see it, it wiggles too much there because they never bolted it down to the concrete. And that just shows pure laziness and stupidity on the part of whoever did this install. And they're supposed to be professional plumbers, and it should have been inspected. But here, 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 and here is the 4 holes where you're supposed to put 4 blue Tapcon screws. And of course, since whoever made this hole screwed up and made it too big, there's really only enough meat to hold 2 of the screws. And so somebody was even too lazy to do that. So we're going to come in before we put the toilet back. We're going to put these 2 screws back into place, and at least you'll have a solid toilet. So if you ever have a toilet that's shifting side to side or moving around and you wonder why, that's why. It's because whoever put it in and didn't Tapcon down the flange. And then also you can notice, since we're using 1/2-inch thick travertine, by the time we're done, these travertine tiles are going to be about 1 inch above the floor. So we've bought these extension rings that look just like this top plate here. They'll pile on top of this, and then we'll put our ring around that on the top. And looking back around here, of course, we got the toilet sitting here in the shower, and we're going to be putting our hardy board on the shower here next week. While we're here in the shower, I want to show you something here. This is something the builder did, total idiotic, when they built this place 35 years ago. If you can look right up here, you can see that light. That light is up in the attic. Never put any drywall up here on this part inside the cavity in the shower. So for 35 years it's been extremely hot behind this wall here, which is the shower wall on the master bathroom, and also the shower wall on the guest bathrooms on the opposite side here. So for 35 years it was super humid here and hot behind this wall, which is why this AC register over here up in the ceiling was sweating and dripping down on the floor that was here before, and it came down in here and it caught in this corner here, and it rusted out the bottom of the, that's the corner of the corner bead for the drywall. So simple failure modes that turn devastating because somebody doesn't do something very simple. We're going to have to stitch that up with all sorts of pieces of drywall and shoot in some fun to fill in the voids afterwards. And so since they shot in the cellulose fiberglass up there in the attic, the insulation, a lot of it came down this wall here. When we gutted these walls. We spent 2 hours vacuuming up all of that stuff. So here we are in the neighbor's bathroom, and we've cut open the hole in the ceiling downstairs from our unit. So now we're looking right up in there, and there's where the broken pipe is. See that? Right there. Oh yeah. And there is the plumbing stack that it plugs into. So the stack is okay. We're gonna just cement in a new pipe there. And then it's gonna come right over here to our opening, which is right there. This is the old pipe that broke. Now that we got the drain engineering disaster fixed, now we set our sights on picking out a new dual vanity here, which you see here in the store of our local cabinet shop here. I like this because it's got the curved doors and the granite tops, and it was only $1,600. It's a pretty decent deal for what you're getting here. So here it is, dry fitted in the master bedroom here, prior to being installed into place here in the vanity section of the master bathroom. Now we've installed the bamboo flooring in the master bedroom suite, and you're looking straight down the end of the line there to the shower at the very end in that doorway there. And we've already started to dry fit the vanity into place. The mirrors are looking nice there, and we're really digging this vanity light that we got here. Looks very classy. That's a timeless classic there. Now we're starting to install the hardy boards all throughout the shower here. And remember, you always want to use the hardy fasteners. Those are those green screws. They're waterproof. Don't ever use drywall screws, which I see a lot of people do. It's very foolish. Use the fasteners that are made for your backer board. Now you remember I told you earlier we had to seal up that hole leading up to the attic because the builder stupidly built this whole thing wrong and never sealed the top of it. So here we have sealed it right up here with drywall and foam. And here, you'll like this one. This is the view of the top side of that fix. We're standing up in the attic up above the shower there now, looking straight down on our fix, how we patched it. So you can see how for 30 years, nothing but a whole bunch of junky insulation has been falling down in that space because the builder never capped it off. Alright, so here we are putting the last bit of Kerdi seal around the edge of this niche, and this helps just kind of seal it, make sure no water gets behind it. You can also do silicone, but I just happen to have a Kerdi seal tube available, so we're using this. Alright, so now we're going to put the niche here into our prefabricated hole that we've cut previously. And you can feel the Kerdi seal oozing there behind it. And then we'll come back in later and put our screws in. and now it's all sealed behind here. And this down here is, you can see, is at a slight angle to make sure that the water drains into the shower. You never want to have the bottom of your niche be flat. You always want it to be slightly angled. Well, here we are in the master bathroom, and we've already completed putting up all of the hardy board and gotten all the seams taped. And here you can see our niche form that we did, and here's our nicely engineered drain. It's been filled in with cement, and here's the other side where the shower goes. So we're going to put up the Kerdi waterproofing membrane next. Here's the view of our shower floor area here, and there's the concrete slab, and in the middle you can see our repair that we finished. We filled in the box out for the pipe. That's the drain pipe coming up, and it's capped off, ready to go. And now here we're dry fitting the floor here. We've got the shower pan kit on there that comes with that curb piece that you see there, and the shower bench is purchased separately there. And we've got these all laid out. We're dry fitting them just to see how everything's going to fit together here. Now you can see in the previous step we had to wet down the hardybacker boards there prior to installing the rolls here of the Kerdi waterproofing membrane, because we're going to mortar them onto the walls here, as you see here, and you don't want it to suck all of the moisture out of your mortar. And for this step we make the mortar a lot more fluid than we normally do, because we want to be able to squeeze out as much as we can after we attach on and embed these rolls of the Kerdi membrane that you see right here. So we'll put links to all of this down in the description below there, so you can tell exactly what it is you need when you go to do this for yourself. So basically you embed it into the concrete here, like you see here, and then we're using our trowel here. We're just kind of forcing out the excess here. We want to embed everything down, and then you force out all the way across. I start in the middle, work my way across, and we force all of the excess mortar out of the ends of it there. It's almost like doing wallpaper. You don't want to see it bumpy. See how it looks bumpy in the areas where we haven't scraped it yet. So you want to make sure you scrape it all out nice and flat, so you have a perfectly flat surface here, just like you would if you were installing wallpaper. Now here you can see we are kind of working around the niche. You can see it right in the middle there, right behind the words Schluter Kerdi there. So that's our arch niche there, and when we're done here we're going to cut the opening there for that. So here we're just removing more and more of the mortar, pushing it to the outer edges to get it out from behind there, and now we're laying down some mortar here and combing it into place. We're troweling it there, and this is for the curb, so we always do it on the side and the bottom where the curb will rest on the floor here. So you can see we've already preformed and set down the shower pan there, and that's a pre-sloped shower pan that we buy as a kit, and I'll put a link to that kit down below for you as well. And you always want to make sure you're buying the right kit, because they make different flavors here. This one here, our drain is in the center of the shower, so you want to make sure you buy the right kit that has the drain in the center of the shower there. And if yours is on the right, then you would buy the kit that has it on the right hand side or the left hand side. Right, so here we're finishing up putting more of the mortar on here for the curb on the other side now. So when we set this thing in, it should fit in on both sides and on the bottom. And you're going to see here, we're going to put some here on the edge of the shower pan here. So everything will be mortared together. It'll be all nice and solid. So each additional layer of mortar that you put somewhere really helps to solidify and harden up the entire installation here, so that everything will work together and it will be one big solid rock by the time it all dries. Okay, so we're just adding a little more there to the end there. And you notice that I still comb it up there. I give it the trowel lines there because you still want to collapse down. So here, we ended up with 2 pieces on the curb, so one's a smaller piece because the curb that it came with just wasn't long enough to go all the way across. So then here's the other piece here, the bigger piece that we're going to put in. And it's really critical that once you set it, that both of these 2 pieces are exactly in line with each other. They're not twisted from each other. There's no lippage. So you can see I'm feeling here with my fingers here, so I don't have any lippage between the 2, because you want it to be as though it's one whole piece. When this thing dries, it will look and feel like it's one whole curb, because you will need that when you go to tile on your tiles up on top there. So we're just mashing it down there into the mortar. And so here's what it looks like with it all put in place here. And see, I've got the Kerdi band that goes up here. So wherever you have 2 rolls of the Kerdi membrane that have to come together as a seam, you need to overlap that seam by 2.5 inches on either side. And that's what the Kerdi band does. It goes right over the middle. So the seam is actually in the middle of that roll of Kerdi band that you see going up the wall there all the way up to the ceiling. So there we have it. There's everything cemented down. We have the bench form cemented down. We've cut around the niche there and folded in the flaps. The bench is looking good there. It's ready to be waterproofed. We put waterproofing on everything there. And there's where our drain is going to be housed right there. So overall, this is really starting to take the basic shape now of what our final product is going to look like here in this shower here. So the shower pan curb is in place here, and we'll have to fill up those seams there with Kerdi band all the way around the edge of it there. So it's total waterproofing is what we're going to have here. And there you can see what we did in the niche here when we cut around it. We folded in the flaps here of the Kerdi membrane, and then we just mortared them down into place there. So now any water that gets in, it really won't have anywhere to go anyway, because that's a plastic form. But this is all just extra insurance here. And so you can see here we're just about ready to start tiling here on the niche. And you can see more Kerdi band going up the wall there where we had other seams that had to come together. Okay, so now what we're doing here is we're about to cement in the Kerdi drain here. And this comes with it's a gray plastic, ABS plastic here. And you have to, this will work with PVC cement, which is what we're going to attach it to. So here I'm putting the primer onto the outside edge of that PVC pipe there. That's the shower drain pipe that goes down into the slab and into the crawl space between this unit and the unit below there. See? So what we're doing here is we've got the primer on there now, and you really have to work fast here because you really want your primer to be wet still. It's pretty hard. It's almost impossible really. So I've got we're putting the cement on the drain here now, and you have to act really fast because you pretty much don't have much time at all here to get this done. So I very quickly put some of the PVC cement on the drain. Then we're doing the outside of the shower drain pipe right there, and then you very quickly put it onto place and try to turn it a little bit. So we got it. It's not as much as I normally like to turn it, but it's a losing battle there trying to deal with the time factor, and the cement is drying on you. So at least we got it into place there. It's not going to move. And then as soon as you get it down, you start forming the mortar around it here. And what we're doing with all of this mortar here on the shower pan is we are going to lay our pre-cut sheet of the Schluter Kerdi waterproofing membrane over that to help finish off the waterproofing seal of this entire shower flooring system. So there it is. We have it down. And we're using the same technique that we used on the wall, where we force out all of the excess mortar out of the edge of the Kerdi membrane there. And we're going to work it in all the way up. See how it's coming in? The excess is coming out there at the edge where it meets the bench. And we get it all the way around the edge of the drain there, because you want to make sure that it goes on just like wallpaper, where it's completely glued down everywhere. There's no bumps. It should be about as flat as you can get it, as flat as you can humanly get that Kerdi membrane there for the shower pan floor here, because we want this thing to be nice and perfect and ready to attach our shower wall tiles and the shower floor tiles as well. So you just keep on working your way across there and force out all of the excess mortar. Make it nice and smooth and level. Just keep working out all of those bumps. Try to get them all out of there. Okay, so now here we are getting ready to embed our river rock floor tiles here, which we've already cut and pre-shaped and everything. So each of those sheets has already been dry fitted together, so we know where each one's going to go and how it's going to go. So I like to use, after experimenting here, we've found that whenever you're using mosaic tiles like these, you don't really want to go more than 1/8 of an inch. A 3/16 of an inch trowel is about the absolute most. And because what happens is it starts to ooze up between the rocks, and you're going to be end up just cleaning up all sorts of chunks of mortar oozed up everywhere. It'll be a very difficult task for you. So just 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch, and experiment. You know, just try one sheet, see how it works, see how well it embeds for you, and I'll come back in with a wood block and mash it down on top of this. I'm just using my hand right now just to set them into place, see how they look, and to see whether we need to do anything, if we need to use more or less mortar on the next row of the tiles there. And don't worry about how they look right now. You know how you can almost see the lines between the sheets of tiles here, because once we get them in place here, we'll start wiggling the individual tile. So we just use the same strategy as we go down the aisle here, and just carefully mash them in place into the mortar there. And remember, less is more with the mortar here, because you just don't want it oozing up in between here. So now you can see how we cut that piece that's sort of in a circle there to fit around the drain. And once we put in the square drain grate here, which is part of the Schluter drain kit, the square piece, we will then cut up some small pieces of river rock and have it come right up to the edge of the square drain grate, so it will look like it's just perfectly lined up by the time we're done here. So here we're just kind of making sure everything around it is in nice and tight. We have to put in a few individual pieces here that fill in all the little gaps so that it looks very seamless. Well, here's the staging area in the master closet for the work we're doing here in the master bath. Here you can see we just got finished tiling the floor last night. There's the 18-inch travertine tiles. And here's the awesome looking Riverstone shower floor that we did. And there you can see the travertine piece on the bench. And here is, I really love this bronze Schluter drain here that we put in. So we had to stitch all of the rocks all the way around it. Came out pretty good, I think. And all around the edge here, the perimeter, we had to stitch in rocks here and there so that it wouldn't look like these were sheets of rocks. We wanted it to make it look a little bit more random. So we did stick in a few extra pieces here and there. And then over here, you can see on the niche, we've already installed our base piece. You always want the bottom piece to go on first so that there's no grout line. You want the back wall to go on last so the water will splash against the back wall and drip down here onto this. And this is already mounted at a slight angle to allow any water to run off back into the shower here. So we've put some sealer and enhancer on these stones because these are natural travertine stones. And then what we're going to do, have to let it cure for a day or two, and then we'll come back in and grout. And then today we're going to be sealing these travertine tiles here. And as you can see, they're nice and level. Both of my spirit levels are quite happy. So we know we did the install properly on these. And of course we used our tile leveling system. These wedges make sure that all of your tiles are completely level to your adjacent tiles. Back in the master bathroom here, you can see I just finished grouting our shower floor, and we're just waiting for it to dry to a haze, so that I can come back with a wet sponge and remove all of the grout. And what a difference 30 minutes makes, folks. I've already come in and removed all of the grout with the sponge, and now the floor of the shower looks just perfect. And here is the drain installed back. Right, so when we do this niche right here, this is the bottom shelf that I'm going to put in here, and you can see I've got these 3 blue spacers here. These spacers are going to make this bottom piece sit at a slight angle, because you always want to angle the water down into the shower. Don't believe what these other bozos tell you that, oh, it's got to be perfectly flat. No, it's got to be at a slight angle. And you can see it visually, of course, but then, you know, once you put your spirit level on there, it's more than obvious that it's perfectly at an angle. Here we are in the arch niche inside the master bath. So we've tiled the marble octagons onto the back of it, and we are going to be playing today with our dry fitting. This is our OG. These are OG pieces here that are going to form the border, and these are going to run down here like this. And so what we're going to do now is we have to figure out, once we get up to the top of this arch, we need to cut up about 10 pieces of 2-inch OG. And I want to try to cut them so that they make a nice tiny grout hole that you really can't tell that you made this arch out of segments. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to measure across the arch, which I've already done that, and that's 13 inches. And then we're going to use this compass. This is a larger compass that allows you to do a larger size arch. And we're going to trace this onto cardboard and determine from there how big to cut our little segments. We're going to pre-cut them with cardboard and make sure that they fit perfectly, and then we're going to cut them up. So here we've gone ahead and we've taped up a few pieces here just to see how they dry fit together, and this is going to look really, really nice. Very classy when it's done. So you can see we've cut them at 45-degree angles so that the horizontal can meet the vertical. They're going to go straight up the side here. They're going to curve around the arch, and they're going to come right back down the other side again to the bottom. This will look very, very nice when it's done. Okay, so we're drawing our arch now. This is the 13-inch diameter here, so I'm drawing the inside part now. And now I have the OG piece right here, so now I need to set the width of that, and you can see I've already marked it here, that pencil mark. So I already know now how wide to make it, and I've set the compass. I'm going to put the compass back into position here, and I'm going to draw my arch, and that's going to be the width of our OG pieces. You can see the arch go. And now with our OG pieces taped in place, we also taped in place the template for the arch. So you can see how the border is going to continue up here, and then it's going to go up and around the arch and come right back down the other side. So now we know we're going to have tiles that are cut the right width and everything, and now we're just going to make our marks for the segments throughout the arch of where. And now a few minutes later, we've marked all of these segments here, and we're going to trace these out onto the OG tiles, and we're going to cut them. I've got all my cut OG pieces here. They're numbered and they're ready to go in order. And now here you're looking at the result of about 3 hours worth of work. You wouldn't think it, but it takes quite a bit of time to place all of these tiles, especially these curved segments up here at the top here, because you have to use all of these spacers, and it's a huge game that you keep playing whack-a-mole. You move one piece and adjust it, and another piece falls out of whack. And then we had to use these wooden custom pieces that I cut here just to support these arch pieces here, because they were trying to slide. Even if you have your Thinset really super dry like I had it, it still wants to flow a little bit. These are very heavy pieces, so you got to support these. In 24 hours from now, we will go ahead and grout this. Let the grout dry overnight, and now here we are. We're going to start laying the field tiles. I have a couple of little templates, as you can see up here, going around the arch that will help me determine how to cut my tiles that are going to go around this arch here, the niche. What we've done here is on the second layer up from the floor, you can see I have this ledger board here, and this is a straight, perfectly straight piece of bamboo flooring that's machine edged, so I know it's nice and level. and then we have it mounted to the wall here nice and level, and we're just going to rest the second level of tiles right on them. That way we know they'll be at a perfectly straight level line, and all the other tiles as we go up the wall from there will be perfectly square and level. All we have to do is just make sure that they're flat, and we're using our tile leveling system with our little spacers there and our little wedges down here in the bucket. So you can see we've got the first two tiles up now, and their spacers are in place, and the leveling wedges are in place. So now what we're doing is we're applying the Thinset directly to the back of each tile. We put it on thick. We're going to lay it down thick first. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and trowel it, the 1/2-inch trowel lines. And we're not going to scrape it all the way to the bottom of the tile. You shouldn't hear any scraping when you trowel it, so it just goes nice and smooth. Make your groove lines, and then we'll stick the tiles directly to the wall. This is much quicker, much more efficient use of time. It's cleaner, and it's the exact same thing as if you were to trowel it onto the wall, only it's going right onto the tile. And this way you make sure that you have 100% coverage on the back of the tile. And you just simply push the tile into place, move it around a little, get it with the mallet, and start leveling it. We are on day 2 of the tiling here of the master bathroom. So here we've gotten a fair amount of the field tiles up and the accent tiles as well. And you can see, of course, here we're using our tile leveling system here. And these have really been a godsend on these walls here, because mounting these giant 12 by 24 1/2-inch thick travertine tiles, they weigh a ton. And getting them to stay level can be a challenge, so having these wedges in here really does the trick here and keeping them perfectly level from tile to tile. Here you can see is our completed project here in the master closet. This is a closet that's 2 inches under 6 feet by 6 feet. 70 inches by 70 inches. And as you can see, it turned out quite nice. This was a full custom job, meaning I had to cut every single one of these shelves to my own design because we couldn't use any of the design software online because they wouldn't let us put shelves on both sides of the room. So I ditched all of the online sites and just went with my own little hand-drawn, sketched out design here. I just sat here in front of the wall and came up with the design, and we went and cut all the pieces and put it together. Master vanity here, we put in this new double vanity. All of the other condos in this area here have a single vanity. We put in a double, and we put in this bamboo wood flooring that you see here. So that was good having these shelves right here, because this leads into the master shower right here. And here you can see we spent quite an amount of time doing the tiling in here, especially that niche that you see there. And I even, if you look at the top here, I even added this stone, the travertine crown along the top. You don't see that in too many installations. So I thought that would make a nice touch. And this right here took us a couple of days. It took me about 2 days to cement all of these in. So there you have it. Well, I hope you're enjoying this video so far, and if you're finding it helpful, hey, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below there for us, and make sure you click on that subscribe button down there as well, and don't forget to hit that little gray bell icon as well, because if you don't hit that gray bell icon, YouTube will not tell you when we upload a video, and you'll miss it. We'll have videos going up there, and you'll never even know about it, like it never even happened. So make sure you do that. And thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you on the next one.